Hello everyone, welcome to Rajeshwari's Commerce and Management Study Hub. I am Rajeshwari here. Let us discuss today underwriting of shares. Here we are discussing about the complete underwriting. In the previous videos I have uploaded firm underwriting, partial underwriting. Today we are solving the problems under complete underwriting. A Limited issued 1 lakh equity shares. The whole of the issue was underwritten as follows: X 40%, Y 30%, Z 30%. Application for 80,000 shares were received, out of which 20,000 shares had the stamp of X. Those are for 10,000 shares that of Y and 20,000 shares that of Z. Show the liability of underwriters. Let us prepare the statement showing the liability of the underwriter. Here, the gross liability of the underwriter will be given based on the percentage. The overall shares, whatever they have issued, has been given, and each individual underwriter's percentage has been given. So that we have to allocate now for the each underwriter. Statement showing the liability of underwriters. Total Z, Y, X. Particulars 40%, 30%, 30%, 100%. This is the total. This is for A, X, Y, and Z. Here, the total number of shares which have been issued is 1 lakh. On this 1 lakh, 40% is 40,000. And then 30% of 1 lakh is 30,000. 30% of 1 lakh is 30,000. So it is gross liability 40,000, 30,000, 30,000. Total is 1 lakh. Now, from this, we are deducting the unmarked application. Unmarked applications are which does not bear sign and seal of the underwriter is called as unmarked applications. The unmarked applications are based on the gross liability ratio. We are taking the unmarked application. See here, total applications is 1 lakh. Out of this, marked application has been given. Marked applications are 20,000, 10,000, 20,000. 20 plus 20, 50. 50 plus 10 is 60. Now, from this total application received, you have to minus the marked application. That is, total is 50,000. 20 plus 20 and 10. It is 50. 80 minus 50 is 30,000. Those 30,000 shares, calculation of unmarked application. Unmarked application. Total application received 80,000. Out of this, you need to deduct the total marked application. Marked applications are 20, 10, and 20. Total 50. That is The unmarked applications are unmarked applications 80 minus 50, 30,000. This 30,000 you are distributing based on the gross liability ratio. Gross liability ratio is 40 by 100, 30,000, 30 by 100, 30,000 into 30 by 100. It is 3 fours are 12, so it is 12,000. Yes. 9,000, 9,000. Unmarked applications are 12,000, 9,000, 9,000. Total 30,000. Balance. Balance is 40 minus 12,000, 28,000. 30 minus 9,000, 21,000. 21,000 is 70,000. You have to check the total horizontally and vertically both. Okay. Then from this you have to minus the marked application. Marked applications. The marked applications are for X it is 20,000, Y 10,000 and Z 20,000. Total 50,000. The net liability are 28 minus 20, 8,000. 21 minus 10, it is 11,000. 1,000 and 20,000. This is net liability of the underwriters. The net liability of underwriter is, first you have to take gross liability. From that you have to minus unmarked applications. You will get the balance. From the balance you have to minus the marked applications. Then you will get the net liability of the underwriters. And how you are calculating the unmarked applications? From the total applications received, it is 80,000. From that, you have to minus the marked applications. The total marked applications are 50,000. You will get unmarked applications 30,000. And this 30,000 you have to distribute based on the gross liability ratio. Yes, let us solve the next question. The next question is, a company issued 1 lakh shares of rupees 10 each. The whole issue was underwritten by A, B, C and D as follows: A 40,000, B 30,000, C 10,000 and D 20,000. The company had received applications for 90,000 shares, of which marked applications were as follows: A 44,000, B 22,000, C 2,000, D 18,000. Determine the liability of each underwriters. Here in this question, the gross liability of the underwriters has been given by allocating with the values, number of shares. Okay. Now you have to calculate the total marked applications. From that, if you minus the application received is 90,000. So that you have to deduct from the marked application to find out the unmarked application. Let us solve this question. The statement showing the liability of underwriters. The underwriters are total shares. Here we have totally 4 underwriters, that is A, B, C and D. Now the gross liability. The gross liabilities of underwriter A is 40,000, B is 30,000, C is 10,000, D is 20,000. Total is 1 lakh. From this, we are minusing the unmarked application. Unmarked application. How you are finding unmarked applications? The total application received is 90,000. From this you have to minus the marked application. Marked application. The marked applications of A, B, C and D is 44,000, 22,000, 2,000 and 18,000. 44 plus 22 plus 2,000 plus 18,000. The total marked applications is 86,000. 86,000. That is 90,000 minus 86,000, 4,000. 4,000 is unmarked application. Unmarked application. Here the gross liability ratio is not given. Only the gross liability has been given. From the gross liability you have to find out the gross liability ratio. The gross liability ratio is 40,000 is to 30,000, 10,000, 20,000. If you cancel all the 4 zeros, then you will get the ratio of 4 is to 3 is to 1 is to 2. On this ratio, you are distributing the unmarked applications. The unmarked applications of A is 4,000 into 4 by 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. Is 4,000 into 4 by 10 is 1,600. That is 1,600. B 4,000 into 3 by 10 is 1,200. C 4,000 into 1 by 10 is 400. And D is 4,000 into 2 by 10 is 800. Now let us allocate the unmarked application. 1,600, 1,200, 400, 800. The total is 4,000. The balance is 40,000 minus 1,600 is 38,400. 30,000 minus 1,200 is 28,800. 10,000 minus 400 is 9,600. 20,000 minus 800 is 19,200. And 1 lakh minus 4,000 is 96,000. Less marked applications. Marked applications. The marked applications are 44,000, 22,000, 2,000, 18,000. And the total is 86,000. Now the balance is from 38,400, if you minus 44,000, you will get 5,600. This is called as surplus. Here, excess shares have been allocated to the underwriter A. What you have to do is you need to distribute the surplus shares to the B, C and D in the next step. Now 28,800 minus 22,000 is 6,800. 9,600 minus 2,000 is 7,600. 19,200 minus 18,000 is 1,200. And 96 minus 86 is 10,000. This is the balance. Now the surplus of A. Surplus of A will be transferred to B, C and D in their ratio. Transferred to B, C and D. B, C and D you are distributing in the ratio of 3 is to 1 is to 2. 5,600 into 3 divided by 6. This you are distributing, and in this, while you are transferring the surplus to the other underwriters, you should not write the total, because this is the amount which you have already shown. That is why you are not going to show it again. Okay, then 2,800, 933, 1,867. This is balance. Balance is, here it is nil. 6,800 minus 2,800 is 4,000. 7,600 minus 933 is 6,667. Here minus 667, because 1,200 is there. Again there is a surplus for D, and total will be 10,000. Whatever total before distributing the surplus which was there, the same total you are going to get again. This you have to check it out. This should come same. Both the total whatever you have after minusing marked application, the balance was there, and after subtracting the surplus, the balance should be same. That you have to check it out. Now the surplus of D, less surplus of D transferred to B and C. B and C. Only B and C you are transferring the surplus, because A is not having anything. It is nil for A. So that is why you are not distributing. You are distributing only to the B and C. Here plus 667. 667 into the ratio of B is 3. 3 is to 1 ratio. So 3 is to 1 ratio is, here it is nil. Here it is 500, 167 and nil. Now the balance is, here you are not going to get any surplus. So this will be your net liability. Net liability is nil. 4,000 minus 500 is 3,500. 6,667 minus 167 is 6,500. See, the total is, again it is 10,000 only. This is very important. You have to get the total same. 10,000. Yes. Let us solve the next question. Thinkers Limited made a public issue of rupees 40,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. The entire issue was underwritten as follows: A 25%, B 15%, C 10%, D 30% and E 20%. Applications bearing the stamp of the underwriters are as follows: A 5,500 shares, B 4,100 shares, C 3,700 shares, D 3,300 shares and E 3,400 shares. Applications that are received not bearing any stamp, 12,000. That means it is an unmarked application. Remember, the marked applications means which bear a sign and seal of the underwriter is called as marked application. which does not bear sign and seal of the underwriter is called as the unmarked applications. Calculate the liability of individual underwriters. Let us solve this. Statement showing statement showing the liability of underwriters. Total E D C B and A. A, B, C, D, E and total. Here there are totally 5 underwriters are there, and the gross liability has been given in the percentage. The ratio, the gross liability of underwriter is 25%, 15%, 10%, 30%, 20%, and this will be the total 100%. The gross liability on 40,000, 25% is 10,000. On 40,000, 15% is 6,000, 10% 4,000, 30% is 12,000 and 20% is 8,000. The total is 40,000. From this, less unmarked application. Unmarked applications. The unmarked applications are total is given and the ratio of gross liability is 25. You can simplify this ratio by dividing in multiplication of 5, because all you can divide it by 5. Either you can take it as it is or you can simplify. Okay. So if we simplify, the ratio will be 5 is to 3 is to 2 is to 6 is to 4. This is the ratio of the underwriters. Okay, the gross liability ratio. Now the unmarked application is, total unmarked application is 12,000. 12,000 into 5, 8, 10, 20. Into 5 divided by 20 is 3,000, 1,800, 1,200, 3,600, 2,400. The total is 12,000. Now the balance is 10,000 minus 3,000 is 7,000, 4,200, 2,800, 8,400, 5,600 and total is 28,000. From this, less marked application. Marked applications have been given. It is already allotted, so no need to calculate. That is 5,500, 4,100, 3,700, 3,300, 3,400 and total is 20,000. Now the balance is 7,000 minus 5,500 is 1,500. 4,200 minus 4,100 is 100. And here we have surplus for C. 2,800 is the balance. The marked applications are 3,700. So the surplus shares are 900. This we are transferring to the other underwriters in the next step. 5,100, 2,200, 8,000. Now the surplus of C transferred to transferred to A, B, D and E. A, B, D and E we are transferring. Okay. The surplus 900 into 5 divided by 20 is 250, 150. Here plus 900 because we are transferring this surplus to the other underwriters. 300 and 200. Here it is nil. Whenever you transfer surplus to the underwriters, remember you are not writing in the total column. Balance is 1250, 50 and here it is nil. 4800, 2000 and total you are going to get same 8000. Okay, the total will be same whatever balance before transferring the surplus and after transferring the surplus, that you have to remind. Then again we have a surplus of B. The surplus of B transferred to A, D and E. On their ratios we are transferring. It is rupees 17, 50, nil and 20. Here it is 13 and total you are not going to write. The net liability is 1250 minus 17 is 1233, nil, nil, 4780, then 1987, total is 8000. I hope you all understood. Practice makes you perfect, and here you have to remember the each stages. First you need to take the gross liability, then you are deducting the unmarked application. From the balance you are minusing the marked applications, and in case of any surplus you have to transfer it to the remaining underwriters. And then the balance before transferring the surplus and after transferring the surplus should be same, that you have to remind. Then you will get the net liability of the underwriter. This is when completely underwritten, when the shares issue are completely underwritten by the underwriters. This is called as complete underwriting. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.